the ball in game possession. So obviously if they bring that back, I mean, I think Violent Panda has been playing against Vitality long enough that him and Yukio both shouldn't have much trouble. So curious to see how Joreus handles it here in this matchup. And they're absolutely right. It's not the same matchup that we're used to seeing for so long, but it is set up to be another classic.
It absolutely could be. No doubt about that. Even with Dignitas' new addition, Joreus has just been an outstanding figure here on Dignitas so far. And I would expect him to perform well and step up to the plate against a team like Vitality, but we can only find out here into this best of 5. Again, no more Swiss. This is the final 8 bracket. Lose and you go home, win and you stay in. And what could be another banger match here, as we just saw BDS and Giants. Good demo comes out from Joreus, and Violent Panda can't get the second touch. Yukio's there. The shot off the crossbar. It's on the goal line and turned away by the defense of Vitality, but only for just a moment, as Violent Panda slowly tries to get away from this one, and Fairy Peak will slow down the attack.
And that defense from Vitality, I feel, is definitely what won them some series yesterday as well. I thought Fairy Peak and KDOT both had phenomenal defensive showings. KDOT lit the scoreboard up and made me eat my words. So I'm looking for Alpha to have a big day today for Vitality.
Don't think anyone sleeps on Vitality too much anymore, but every once in a while, if you do, they will show you up. Fairy Peak will have a pop-off game. KDOT will come out, and that's a big miss, though, by Alpha, as that was a free ball there. Nobody from Dignitas got a touch on it. KDOT still forcing the issue here. Alpha's there, try to drop it down. Fairy Peak's in their support, and Vitality go up 1-0.
And there we go. Alpha gets redemption here. A battle in the corner. KDOT just muscles it through, and Yukio was thinking that ball on that challenge was probably, instead of kicking up, he thought he was either going to kick out or maybe just kick straight back off the wall and stay low, but popped straight over his head, and Alpha with the snap read just went and got it and laid it up for Fairy Peak. Great read from Alpha.
And tough position there for Yukio in the end.
Yeah.
He was sitting on a goal line with really nothing, or he couldn't get up fast enough. That ball floating at a very tough angle above the net. Only so much he can do there. And that's the triple threat that Vitality have, is that they can get 2 players to get involved, and that last pass is always going to set up that third man, whoever it may be. That time it was Fairy Peak, but for Vitality, or for anyone playing against Vitality, you have to know there's always purpose behind what Vitality's doing. As KDOT will sneak one in. I thought that was going to be saved, so I wasn't building it up. But KDOT sneaks one in past the defense.
Me too, 100%. I mean, it looks like there's a small seam, and indeed there was. KDOT just got all the way around that one, but 3 defenders for Dignitas around the goal line, and KDOT finds the one gap. What can you say? That's why he's been one of the best for so long.
Absolutely, and Dignitas there really do need to shore up the defense now, as that was really an unacceptable goal for a team like that. And it was a tough angle, and Joreus is going to get back and make the save. Not enough on it from Fairy Peak. Alpha still forced the issue here as it comes off the back wall, looking for help. KDOT's there, turned away by Yukio. And some good defense there from Dignitas to save off the Vitality attack.
And if there's one thing that I feel like Dignitas is just as good at Vitality, it's definitely got to be their ability to really understand where shots are going to come from on passes. I mean, they really don't lose marks on people when they're sitting out there in the midfield waiting for the ball to come out of that corner or into the middle. But this one goes straight into Violent Panda's nose. And instead of worrying about where the offense is, needed to worry about where he was.
That's a tough spot for Violent Panda.
Oh, no.
Surely he thought Alpha was going to double tap that one towards, or in the net. He did not expect it to go off the wall there and come straight back into his face.
I mean, no one would. That's just brutal.
Tough spot there for Violent Panda. Really, Alpha should have probably just scored that one right off the rip on his first touch. The other way, yeah. Vitality, excuse me, now up 3 goals to none from Dignitas here, as Vitality are in full command in game 1.
And really just looking for Dignitas to get some sort of offense going. They haven't really been able to hold on to possession. Sure, they get the long clear, and they'll poke Vitality back into their own half, but in terms of hanging onto the ball, they just don't have much. It's this first touch from Yukio, and it's this battle versus Alpha that makes the difference, and he's going, but this is the first real chance for Dignitas, and they turn it in. All right. Nice job, Yukio.
That's the threat from Dignitas. You give a little bit of space to set up the passing play, and they're going to take it every single time, and that's a smart play from Violent Panda to go back into that ball. He knew that defender was on his right side, and the left side of the net there was a gap there that Vitality left. So great play there from Dignitas to get themselves back into it. Plenty of time to get a second goal and a third. Vitality certainly can't get lazy against this Dignitas.
Oh, he's got it. How in the world did K-Top save that ball?
Unfortunately, I think it was shot almost directly into him. Yuki over to Joyous, over to Violent Panda, shot on target. Another good stop from the Vitality defense. Fairy Peak this time to clear it away. And Vitality doing a great job of staying with those passing plays that Dignitas are so good at doing. And this one's still going to get off the backboard. There's been 3 passes here, and it does come down. K-Top and team getting tangled up in their own net right now. It does get cleared away. Violent Panda, 25 seconds left. Would love to get one sooner rather than later. Might go over to Yukio on the pre-flip.
Needs to be in.
Now Jorius, shot left side off the crossbar, the corner rather. Such a close spot for Dignitas and still can't put it away. Joris, another attempt with no boost. Multiple shots coming out from Dignitas. This one back to Yukio, and they were trying to find Joris across the box. In the end, pass after pass, shot after shot here in the final minute. And Dignitas just couldn't find the net, but it does say something about what we can see going forward here as Dignitas do get the passing plays going.
2 big looks for Joyous there at the end of the game. Unfortunately, I mean, the one that needed to go in with about 25 left just ricochets off that top left corner, and the end Vitality squeak away. But 2-goal lead, and every goal they scored was really quality. I mean, K-Top, Alpha, and Fairy Peak doing great work. I think the best one was definitely Alpha making that snap read off of that challenge that just popped out of the corner, and Fairy Peak coming home to drill that one through. And Dignitas, they started to get things going at the end of the game, but it definitely took a little bit to settle in. And I feel like from last weekend, now you've started to see Vitality really settle into where we thought they were going to look. Because if you remember week 1 of the Swiss rounds, oh man, Vitality was looking so shaky. And they had to really battle to get through into this second round, but they've really picked it up here this week, and it's showing here in Game 1 versus Dignitas.
It has, but I will say, Cheese, from what we saw there in that first game, about 4 minutes and 15 seconds were all Vitality, right? They did a great job of locking in Dignitas. Dignitas looked very disorganized, uncomfortable even during those first 4 minutes, 15 seconds of the game, but all of a sudden, that last 45 seconds or so, Cheese, honestly, Dignitas really got things going, so much so that you saw Vitality really get undisciplined on the defensive side of things. It was not looking pretty for them. There's a couple double commits. They were kind of flailing in their own net. And that's that passing play from Dignitas that just chops up a defense so cleanly. If Dignitas can carry that over here into Game 2, things are going to be a lot tougher for Vitality.
Very delayed kickoff from Yukio. A very shallow follow from that opposite corner. And it might just end up with possession, especially with K-Dot missing.
I like the bump there from Violent Panda, even after the soft shot. Yukio, can he lob this one in off the crossbar? And Dignitas get things going right off the rip.
Money from Dignitas to start off Game 2. It was the perfect kickoff, and they capitalized on the mistake because K-Dot didn't get that initial clear coming off the backboard, and they closed the gap instantly. And you're right, the play from Violent Panda and the perfect shot from Yukio combined to get them started on the right foot.
And a lovely touch there from Jorius as well. Put it at the right side of the defender off the wall. Look at the passing play back to Jorius, and another great save from Fairy Peak. Give credit to Vitality. They're sticking with these passing plays, and they have been right on it multiple times now. Violent Panda looking for Jorius. It's a bit too heavy. Yukio went for the bump. Jorius almost made something of it. And you can see this defense. They're all backed up on the back wall now. Not the touch that I think Dignitas wanted, but Jorius does well to stay with it. And he will throw it over to Violent Panda. He's trying to receive his own pass there. Didn't have a lot of options after his initial touch. Very beautiful. Great lob, and Violent Panda there to disrupt. Alpha, quick to the ball here. Gate Ops there, and Violent Panda puts it away, but Alpha's got to take another shot, and
Oh, he got
Jorius
bumped.
can't get the save, and Fairy Peak comes through and puts it home finally. Block after block, and Vitality still stays strong on offense.
Oh, unfortunate there for Yukio. K-Dop rotating out of the net just takes a big piece of him and just scoots them off the goal line, and that was an easy tap in for Fairy Peak. Unfortunate, because you felt like Dignitas might have been able to get away from that one, especially after Violent Panda made such a heroic first effort. But at the end of the day, the pressure proves too much.
So a 1-1 game here between Dignitas and Vitality in game 2. Alpha, great pinch. And Fairy Peak slaps that ball up to the sideline. Violent Panda still staying with it, gives way for Yukio. And again, Vitality's defense doing well to not only stay with that play, but really get in the way of it and disrupt what Dignitas are wanting to do.
And I feel like I've said that definitely a couple times over the past couple times I've seen Vitality play a game. The defense has been the one that's been winning them a lot of these games and a lot of the series. I mean, obviously, yes, when the offense is clicking and they score 6 goals in a game, okay, they're going to win. But other than that, you know, they're winning on these 2-1, 1-3 games where they make a couple of massive stops, and that one just pings off the post.
Especially with a team like Dignitas, though, a team that's so eager to pass. If you can stop most of these attacks, it really does limit what Dignitas have up their bag of tricks. Fairy Peak, I think, inadvertently got the fake there, and he will take this one away from Alpha. Game has slowed down just a bit here. As K-Dop got options to his right, Alpha's there, tried to get it out to him, and Yukio clears it away. Now Jorius and Fairy Peak racing to the ball. And Fairy Peak does at least stop his shot, but Violent Panda comes through and Dignitas take the lead.
Perfect shot from Violent Panda. They catch Alpha and K-Dot both rotating back, and that is the worst case scenario bounce for Alpha 54. When you're at the midfield line and you're thinking, please just roll up the wall or just come down onto the ground so I can get command, and you see it skip dead center at just at the top of the net height, you know something's coming at you, and Violent Panda gave it to him.
It was a tough situation there for Fairy Peak. He was just trying to buy time for his team. In the end, really set up Dignitas for success there. Jorius, big miss from his corner. Fairy Peak trying to set up Alpha. He is there, and Violent Panda to clear it out. Minute 40 left on the clock here, and Dignitas trying to hold on to this lead. Here comes Alpha. These individual plays have been kept to a minimum here. Vitality have been able to break up the defense with the passing alone. K-Dop into the corner. K-Dop once again plays it across the box. Alpha's too close to go, but he will follow it up as it drops down. And Dignitas trying to keep this Vitality team out, not letting them too close to their net. Happy to throw it to the corner if need be.
And one thing Dignitas have definitely been doing a lot better of in this series so far, the passing is just so much better from Dignitas. It really does feel like Vitality's taking the solo effort, punch it in, try and follow it up, see if you make the big play. If not, the teammate behind you's got something, and that's leaving Vitality with very few options for where to put their balls where their teammates can get them. Is this one on a fast break? Yukio will win the race.
And he will put it away. 3-1 is your scoreline now for Dignitas as an errant touch, or a good touch, excuse me, from Violent Panda comes out, and Yukio just faster to the ball there, read the play a bit better, knowing his teammate was going to get that touch. And a 2-goal lead for Dignitas opens up, and man, oh man, they've looked a lot better in this game.
Infinitely better. And I think a big part of that goes to Violent Panda. He's made a couple of great reads on Vitality, trying to build pressure and buy a few extra moments for Jorius and Yukio to get into the positions they need to be in to stop whatever's coming at them. And here K-Dop will let Alpha go over his head, but not done yet. If any team can score 2 and 20, I'd pick Vitality to do it.
15 seconds left. Dignitas popping this ball up to run out a lot of time. Yukio's pushing Fairy Peak in his own corner. Fairy Peak there to pop it up, and time will tick down here in game 2. Dignitas will get one back here against Vitality and make this one a close series. And I will say, as we said before, Dignitas does a great job here to bounce back. On the other hand, Vitality, I feel like, had opportunity there, but couldn't break down the defense far enough on a couple of their plays where they had open shots to take. And I think that Alpha's been pretty quiet here, at least on the offensive front, in this game in particular.
Yeah, all of Vitality quiet. You look at the shot differential, it's what, 12-5? So yeah, the passing definitely paying Dignitas some extra opportunities and getting them some, if not always, quality looks to the net, putting the pressure on Vitality and demanding that they make solid defensive efforts, especially because the pressure from Dignitas has been so good. They really didn't ever have any boost struggles. It never really felt like they were under pressure from Vitality in this game. It was kind of the inverse of game one, you know? To me, it felt like game one, Dignitas was the ones who were forced to punt the ball away and try and chase it down, and Vitality is in the driver's seat. And here in game two, you just got to see Dignitas do the same thing, but exercise what they wanted to do, which was the great passing and a lot of great setups and good chances.
Yeah, and I think that is where Dignitas obviously feel the most comfortable, but I think it's also where Dignitas feels they can beat Vitality the hardest, right? It feels like if they can get that passing game going, Vitality, minus the great saves and great reads on their goal line, shot after shot, time after time from Dignitas, eventually some are going to fall.
Especially when I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Has definitely leveled up in that shooting department. I mean, we can all remember for the longest time we would harp on Yu-Gi-Oh! For the shooting percentage. And here off the start, it's Alpha and KDOP combining to drill one in off the kickoff. And unfortunately for Dignitas, the only person able to buy time was Jorius, but you can only do so much.
Yeah, tough position there. Violent Panda gets demolished. Then Jorius, I think, just wanted to pop that one up, just trying to get a touch on it so it doesn't go in, and unfortunately came off the crossbar and down towards the Vitality team. Here comes Jorius himself, goes under one, gets the fake. Dignitas find themselves in the hole here in the first 20 seconds. How do they answer back? Alpha met by Yu-Gi-Oh! In midair. Again, these series are so important, not only for today, but in general, moving on to the World Championship and even just to the next regional. You get points for every game. And if you lose, you don't have any more opportunities to get points.
You see, just that air dribble right there from Alpha. I mean, like, yeah, he's fairly open on the side wall, and he takes the challenge. And here, like, KDOP is just bringing the ball up, and then Fairy Peak just jumps over his head to try and blast a shot through it. And that's just, Vitality's not passing the ball. They're making an individual effort, and someone behind them is just deciding, I'm going to go and try and smash this into the goal. And it's just, it's not throwing Dignitas at all. They can see it coming all the way.
KDOP there threw that one off the back wall. Dignitas read that one, but Fairy Peak still trying to press the issue here for Vitality. They're keeping Dignitas locked in, but as you said, really not a lot of dangerous chances coming out for Vitality at the moment. KDOP tries to take control, going to the back post over Yu-Gi-Oh! He does get a piece of Fairy Peaks there. Another save there from Jorius. Now Alpha, into the air he goes, looking for that flip reset. He's got it, gets a second touch, but not a lot of power behind it. And it will fall down on top of Jorius as this one goes off the back wall. KDOP's there, save from Violent Panda. Dignitas barely staying afloat as it comes down to the left side. Alpha puts it away for Vitality, and they finally break the defense of Dignitas.
So while the approach from Vitality, not necessarily the world's most sophisticated, it does create a bunch of pressure, and eventually a ball just kicks off the ceiling and Alpha's in position, and he had the entire left side to pick from. Jorius just not able to stick with that one, and Alpha placed that ball very well. So Vitality, I mean, if you hang on to pressure long enough, eventually they'll crack it if it just takes one good challenge like that one to come straight up and down.
7 saves from Dignitas on 9 shots from Vitality. So the stats check out if you're looking at the scoreline here, and Dignitas need to get something going to break out of their end. They have on this kickoff. An opportunity here if Yu-Gi-Oh! Can get back to it. He will, plays it across, and great clear from Alpha. KDOP takes care of Violent Panda to give no chance to Dignitas.
Violent Panda is actually kind of in a really weird spot. Jorius just rotated into the corner and took the boost that he was planning on going for, so could be a bit of a 2-on-1 here for Vitality. Violent Panda finally back. And unfortunately for Vitality, they don't really have anything here.
That Dignitas defense doing a lot with a little right now. But Vitality just continually kind of just dunk the Dignitas over and over again on their clears. There's constantly a player in their face that just makes it tough for Dignitas to get a solid quality hit without Vitality in their face. Alpha trying to do it himself, getting a little tricky here. He's going to eventually throw it back towards the midfield, and I don't think anyone from Vitality knew what was happening.
It was really smart. I mean, he didn't have a lot of boost on that approach, and so he tried to make it look like he was just going for that jump wave dash and then just get the quick flick, but see if the defense would bite in any direction and give him an opening. So the no boost mind game level up from Alpha 54. Good idea, but no bite.
A minute to go here for Dignitas. Still Vitality keeping possession in their final third here. If they can put another one away, it's surely over for Dignitas. Violet Panda, though, might have something else to say here if he can play it back out. Alpha does a good job to at least make the save. Dorius bringing it down, pops it up over to Yukio. Yukio looking for that corner and didn't have any more help. Dorius over to Violent Panda. He's there. Dorius still trying to stay with it. Yukio bid on it as well, so it's just Violent Panda. He's got to throw it towards net. 30 seconds left for Dignitas. Still nothing too dangerous against this Vitality defense. They've been quite calm, but now a shot comes through and finally K-Dop is tested, and it goes right past him.
I hesitate to call that a test. I mean, he was staring right down the barrel of this one. He could see it coming all the way. He just missed it. Oh, no.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And unfortunate play there for K-Dop as finally a shot comes on net for Dignitas.
There's life.
And there's opportunity as another one comes off the backboard. Vitality maybe looking for one more, and they might get it here. It's straight at Violent Panda. Fairy Peak's gonna come clean it up, and that'll do it. Unless Dignitas can get a couple of kickoff goals. Vitality take back the lead by 2.
Yeah, that's game 3 in a nutshell right there. One person from Vitality comes through, puts the ball in a relatively dangerous position, makes one good approach, maybe a bump, maybe it's a challenge, it doesn't matter. Either way, Vitality's just waiting on it, and they come through and smash it on a fairly open look. And that's been all of game 3.
And there's been, well, there goes one more, I suppose, for Alpha, as he gets one for the road. And an interesting
one good touch. And who cares? Just go for it.
Comes right off the back end of Alpha and straight into the net. Why not? And 13 shots with that one for Vitality, and they commanded this game, at least in the shooting department, and they really were all over Dignitas for the majority of the game.
It was really a game 2. Dignitas was using, you know, the scalpel and the operating table, and Vitality came in playing Surgeon Simulator with a chainsaw and the hammer, and we're just like, smash the ribs, rip the heart out, and then throw the new one in. We're good. Yeah. And it worked.
It absolutely did. And for Dignitas now, the question really is, okay, you have 9 saves here in this game, but you can't just play defense simulator for the entire game. You have to generate some offense. How do you break out with this massive amount of shots, with this massive amount of pressure that Vitality's putting on you?
I mean, how do you break out of it? That's the eternal question. It never really felt like they were like starved for boost or anything, or they were truly in a lot of real danger. It was really just the follow-ups that got to them. I mean, they were handling the initial push well. It's just they just didn't have the people in the position to make that last touch. And I mean, I don't feel like Dignitas really did anything wrong. It's just a product of map pressure from Vitality, you know? If you're able to hang on to the boost in the midfield, you keep cycling through and you keep throwing, you know, all the noodles at the wall, one of them's going to stick eventually.
And there was a lot of noodles.
Yeah, there were a bunch of noodles.
From
They'll have leftovers.
Yeah, they might have leftovers coming into this game. So for Dignitas, you're absolutely right, though. On a more serious note, it does feel like Dignitas didn't necessarily do anything too wrong here in that game. It just felt like Vitality, they definitely controlled the midfield boost game, which allowed them to have those extended stays. But Dignitas just never got quality clears or those 1-2 touch passes out of their own end to set them up for success downfield. Shot goes there for Yukio, but easily saved away from Alpha. And now Violent Panda turned backwards. Alpha tried to get a piece of him, and he didn't get enough of him.
Underrated save from Violent Panda there. that was
situation.
Gross.
Very scary if you're Violent Panda or anyone with your back turned against someone like Alpha, knowing what he can do and still coming out with the save. And great pass over to Yukio. Left side shot back post for Yukio. Surgical precision.
And how about realizing K-Dop gave Jorius space? Like, Jorius drives up that sidewall, makes it look like I'm going to smash this off the backboard. It's going to bounce mid. And K-Dop sees that initial read, drives up the wall and says, you just gave me space. Slides it out to the middle of the box. And who's there but Yukio? Beautiful passing play. Great recognition from Jorius.
Dignitas starting off on the right foot, and maybe not for long as K-Dop puts one to the right side. Jorius there to clear it away, and quickly down the field he goes. Back to the Vitality half. Yukio. Again, one lob towards the back post. Tough bounce for Violent Panda there as he has to go back to his own corner. Here's Alpha. Pops this one up. It's a race to the ball. Yukio's going to be there first, but only to give it back to K-Dop. K-Dop still with this one, looking for options under him, and he doesn't have a lot. He's going to take it himself, and he almost squeezes it in. Jorius has to make a tough save. Fairy Peak still with it. Pops it up. Tries to make it tough for Jorius, and he does. Oh my goodness, Alpha gets the touch, and we're tied up.
Where did this one even come from? Fairy Peak, definitely a tough ball for Jorius. I mean, you can understand how he misses that, but how does Alpha get that ball? I mean, he drove up the back wall, and he's just like, if he misses, I'm going to hit it. And I'm just in shock. Like, who thinks that way? You've got no boost. Why are you still there?
Exactly. He used all his boost to get in that position, but when he was in the air, he had no boost.
Nailed it.
And somehow. Absolutely nailed it. So a tie game. Violent Panda trying to make amends to that as this one comes right past Jorius' face. Yukio trying to fight for his, comes out to K-Dop and tries to go under Jorius.
No,
he does get
dead.
Alpha's there so quickly, and he tried to go past the last defender. Wasn't able to. Still Vitality trying to press on.
And Violent Panda was just at a loss for what he was supposed to do in that situation. And feels like Vitality's starting to get their teeth back into it here in Game 4. They give a lot of ground here to Dignitas, but Fairy Peak wins the first race. And curious to see if they get the grips on the midfield boost again, or if Dignitas are able to get a bit more room to breathe.
I've seen this a few times on the at the end stage there of that attack from Vitality. K-Dop popped that ball up into an air dribble, and it's not always Alpha, but sometimes Vitality will pop the ball up and show an air dribble with the player who popped it, and then another player will jump from behind him to take the ball away.
That's exactly what I was talking about last game. I mean, Vitality go for the solo effort, and then someone behind him's just like, I'm gonna go smash this ball and see what happens. And Jorius decides that I don't care about any of that. We're gonna catch you on transition with the bump. Yukio wins it, and looky there, just got bumped into position and delivers a perfect ball off the bar and in.
And this is quite an impressive goal from Jorius because he gets bumped downfield, has to use his boost to even give himself a chance to stay with that play, and does so to take the shot. So well done from Jorius to stay with it and gives his team the lead once again here. And Vitality still doing a good job of kind of keeping this midfield control, but Dignitas have done much better to break out from it. Jorius to throw downfield, straight to K-Dop. Boost to work with here. Past one, looking to go past Violent Panda, and it comes straight back out to Fairy Peak. K-Dop, great touchdown to Fairy Peak as Yukio read it all the way. Yukio still fighting for every inch downfield. K-Dop, good touch. Back out to Alpha. Shot is low and straight at the defense. And Violent Panda will be happy to lob that one towards the net.
Oh, this is great. Oh, less great. Feel bad for Yukio. I thought that one was going to be smashed towards the goal.
A bit too much on the pass there from Jorius. Now Violent Panda forced to make a save. Alpha looking to take this one up the wall, and he will. Still with it. Gets a touch over the defense, and Violent Panda has to make the save. Here's K-Dop still on the attack, and it finally goes in for Vitality to tie it up.
Wow. I'm surprised this one snuck its way through. I thought Violent Panda did a real nice job of lifting that ball out towards safety, but K-Dop, talk about the precision in that first touch. I mean, the perfect lift to just give yourself a second chance at it. It is no small thing to always have consistent first touch power to set that up. And K-Dop, that was clinical.
Peak and K-Dop.
Why? And they bumped him.
They got a piece of Jorius, so it turns out to be not bad for Vitality. I'm not. And
sure they keep getting away with it.
They really are. It seems like the miscues turn into opportunity sometimes for Vitality.
What's the saying? It's an improviser's game.
Yeah, it definitely is. And in that case, that's some next level improvisation for Vitality, as time ticking away here, tied up, looking at overtime, and it will be.
You know, I really don't. I'm not biased. I don't care who wins this series. I just want to see Game 5. I just want to see how it plays out. So I want Dignitas to win here.
You could very well get your wish here. So the offense has still been just a bit lacking from Dignitas here in this game, again in particular, only putting up 4 shots to be 9 once again for Vitality. Make it 10 now with that one. A lot more dangerous opportunity for Vitality, it feels like, in this game. Dignitas very much slowing down. Yukio can't get by K-Dop. Very peaks there. Does get a piece of it. Alpha's going to go. And he'll have a second touch here as he plays it out to K-Dop and tried to tip over Yukio, and a good read from Yukio to break out for Dignitas.
Under pressure as well. You see K-Dop as he was rotating out past that midfield line, forcing Yukio to get rid of that ball a little bit quicker than he would like. And it's caused Dignitas to lose possession almost immediately. There we go. Regained. Good play.
I haven't seen too much passing here from Dignitas in the later half of this game. It's been tough for them. You can talk about the boost game. You can talk about the pressure that they're feeling from Vitality just on their offensive front. But maybe Yukio can change some minds as it's taken away by K-Dop.
They're taking a page out of Vitality's book. Now they're just going for the solo effort. Let the guy behind you follow up as needed. And Alpha forcing Yukio to hesitate there on that approach. And you're definitely right. Overtime has slowed down definitely a little bit here.
I think that benefits Dignitas if the game does slow down. Vitality just wants to... You don't know?
It's tough to say. I mean, I feel like if you start giving Vitality more time to figure it out and stop double commit, they might get more dangerous.
It's true. You could make an argument for both ways, really. 2 minutes into overtime here. Jorius plays it over to Yukio. First touch is good. Has boost to work with. Pops it over. Finds the back wall. And Fairy Peak there to clear it away. Violent Panda couldn't go. It was still too congested in the box.
I'll score that.
Yukio is there and just too late. Now Vitality's turn. Alpha past 1. Picks up full boost. Past 2.
Wait.
Get by Yukio. Wants the mind game and couldn't get it.
I think that's absolutely the right move from Alpha, even if he doesn't score there, because Yukio got caught out of position, you know? He's all the way at the corner while that ball's about to get put right in front of the goal, and he knows Yukio is going to be thinking, I got to get back, and the mind game's the right move, but nobody cares. Fairy Peak will deliver.
Left side shot for Fairy Peak, and it was K-Dop who just shoved it through the first defender. Alpha keeps the play alive, and you see it so much from Vitality. They keep the plays alive by just throwing bodies at the ball, and they win the challenges, or at least make it go equal and not go anywhere. You never see a lot of challenges pinch away for Vitality, and both of those challenges from K-Dop and Alpha could have pinched away for them. In the end, come out with a victory here over Dignitas in a 3-1 fashion, and will move on to play Team BDS.
And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I think over the past couple times we've seen Vitality, the defense has won the games, and here it was just 100% the challenge angle. How they got to the ball and not letting it get out of control despite being in so many places where Dignitas can really put a damper on the approach. So Vitality do 0 things special, you know? It's just control the boost, smash the ball, double commit a few times, but if you do double commit, make sure the touch is decent, and wash, rinse, repeat. And that broke Dignitas down. It was literally hammer the nail in and you'll win.
I have to agree, at least with that last point. It does feel like Vitality really did just force the issue over and over. I mean, even that last goal was a perfect example. K-Dub wins the challenge on the back wall. Then Alpha throws his body at the ball to keep it there. And then it comes out to Fairy Peak and he puts it away. So look, that's how it works with Vitality. It's that easy, folks. That's how you be the best team in Europe and possibly the world. And Vitality are certainly showing it here against Dignitas with the 3-1 victory. They move on once again to play BDS, but we've got a couple more matches coming up. Stay with us after the break.